Will knowing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu keep you from going to jail? Find out by checking out this episode. Okay, so what do I mean by can Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu keep you from going to jail? So, self-defense is a legal term. This is the emphasis that I want to make here for people, because a lot of people want to take martial arts or self-defense classes or whatever because they want to learn self-defense. Hey, if somebody comes up to me in a parking lot, I want to be able to protect myself. I want to be able to fight back, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of YouTube videos out there. A lot of people ask me as a lawyer, what is the best self-defense? Obviously, we're talking non-lethals, because if you're talking lethal self-defense, the best defense is a gun. That's why everybody should have a gun. Everybody should have a carry permit, train yourself, learn how to use it, et cetera, et cetera. But when you don't want to use lethal force, or lethal force is not legally justified, which is what this video is going to kind of be about, what's good to know? So what is the best martial arts for self-defense? Well, I have belts in several martial arts. I have a black belt in Taekwondo. I've got a belt in Hapkido. I've got a belt in karate, taken some general self-defense classes from ex-Navy SEALs, some local training, et cetera, et cetera. So I have a decent background in these kind of things. I've never taken anything like MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any of these type of popular ones that are out there today. Now, that being said, the purpose of this isn't to tell you that MMA is better physical self-defense versus Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's all kinds of videos about that. What I want to emphasize today is self-defense is a legal term. It's not a technique. It's a legal term. It's defined by statutes. Here in Florida, we have a specific statute, and every other state generally has specific statutes about what self-defense means. And the emphasis that I want to give to people is that all self-defense statutes require you to be in some sort of imminent fear of death or great bodily harm or some sort of danger, basically. I mean, it's in the title self-defense. So you must be defending yourself. Now, there is a fine line legally between defending yourself and not defending yourself. And what I mean by that is, let's take, for example, you don't start the fight. A lot of people assume that if I don't start the fight, I'm good to go with self-defense. So I'm in a parking lot at Walmart. Some guy comes up to me, punches me in the face, pushes me, threatens me some way. Okay, he starts the fight. I'm clearly not the initial aggressor. However, I am really good at self-defense and he is not. And so somewhere 5, 10, 15 seconds after the fight started, I have the upper hand. And now I am beating the shit out of the guy. I'm repeatedly punching him in the head, kicking him in the head, slamming him on the ground, et cetera, et cetera. Just because you didn't start the fight doesn't mean you can do that. Okay? There is a line where you can switch from being the victim to being the aggressor. So when you're taking self-defense classes, it's very important to always keep that in mind, because some of these self-defenses, like you look at MMA, I believe, is designed for fighting, competition in the arena. Are there things in there that can help with your self-defense? Of course there are. All of the martial arts to some extent have things that can certainly help you in a street fight or self-defense. Some are better than others. But MMA teaches you to attack. It teaches you if somebody comes at you, you go back at them and you keep going back at them. You keep going back at them and you keep going back at them. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu teaches the grappling stuff on the ground. It teaches submission holds. It teaches you how to dislocate arms, how to put pressure on people, how to choke people out. Those things could easily get you in trouble, even if you're not the initial aggressor. Take, for example, that most recent incident in New York where the guy choked the guy out in the subway. That was a perfectly legal choking thing that people learn in self-defense. He was in the military. He probably learned it there. However, that guy's now facing murder because he put a chokehold on a guy and they said, nope, you can't do that. Remember in the George Zimmerman case, that was a case where George Zimmerman was the initial aggressor. He was the one who initially provoked the Trayvon Martin kid, started the fight, started the altercation. But at some point during the altercation, the Trayvon Martin kid got the upper hand and was repeatedly banging his head in the ground of George Zimmerman. And so then he pulled his gun out and shot him. So there you had a triple move around. You have George Zimmerman being the aggressor with Trayvon Martin being the victim. Then you had Trayvon Martin being the aggressor and George Zimmerman being the victim. And then George Zimmerman shooting Trayvon Martin in self-defense, and he was found not guilty. So it can obviously switch back and forth during the altercation. So when you're thinking about self-defense, you should from a legal standpoint, again, I'm only talking from a legal standpoint, you should always be thinking of getting away. If you can, get away. If somebody punches you in the parking lot, punch them back once or twice and then run. Go get in your car. Go call 911. Go back into Walmart. Don't punch them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. If you're grappling with somebody on the ground, don't try and grapple to dislocate their shoulder or break their arm and commit permanent damage, because once you've got control over that person and the situation is kind of settled, and you go further by knocking them out with a chokehold or dislocating their arm or doing something to cause permanent damage, you can say all you want that he started the fight, but because you're trained and you know what you're doing, at some point you were able to control that situation. Instead of ending it and getting away, you went further, and you're going to be arrested and you're going to be hauled in front of a jury for causing permanent damage. The whole goal of self-defense is to survive and get away. If the only way to survive is obviously to get violent and cause permanent damage or even kill somebody by pulling your gun, then that's what you got to do. Everybody should do what they have to do in the moment to survive. But when you're looking for a way to defend yourself in a self-defense, a physical standpoint, a fight, make sure that whatever martial arts you decide to take, that you're always going at it with the mindset of, I'm not here to kill that person if I don't have to. Because if you're only using hand-to-hand self-defense, it hasn't probably risen to the level where you need to shoot somebody or kill somebody. Otherwise, you would have pulled your gun. There again, of course, there may be circumstances where you don't have the opportunity to pull your gun, and so you have no choice but to use hand-to-hand. Or in a location where you can't carry your firearm and something breaks out. Like if I go to court or something, I can't have my firearm. And if I get attacked by a bunch of inmates in the courtroom, I'm obviously not going to have my firearm. But by the same token, I'm still going to be looking to get away. I'm not going to be looking to just, roadhouse style everybody in the room and then walk out thinking like, oh, I'm the badass attorney who knocked out all these inmates. No, I'm looking to get who's ever on top of me off me and get out the freaking door and let the bailiffs handle it. So in that situation, I wouldn't want to grapple somebody and get down on the ground and try and dislocate their arm or break their arm or knock them out or bruise their eye socket or cause any sort of permanent damage, because I'm looking to get out of there and save myself and save my family. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about today. I've been looking for a new martial arts to get into. I've been thinking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, maybe MMA. So I started watching a bunch of videos, and all those videos, a lot of those instructors and people who are ranking those would always talk about how self-defense is a legal term and you shouldn't be looking to do damage to somebody. That's not the point of self-defense. And so I just wanted to make my own video from a legal standpoint, kind of backing up that concept. So that's all I got for today. Just wanted to throw a quick little video out there. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.